Hey loves, it's your girl Mariah Sincere, and I am back with another bomb lunch hour. For those of y'all who do not know me, I'm a self love coach who specializes in helping people radically transform their lives through one on one coaching. I've been able to do it with my life. Trust me, I've been through childhood trauma, bad relationships, toxic relationships, breakups, losing jobs. And at the beginning of the year, I was unhappy with my life and I decided I wanted to start all the way over. And within 6 months, I moved to Medellin, Colombia. One thing about me is I know how to make a plan, stick to it, and execute. So if that is something that you are interested in, please hit me up at thepassportsis@gmail.com. My email address is in the subscription box. I do $30 an hour coaching sessions where we can really just tap in, zero in on some of your problems, and develop an actionable plan. All right, guys. So today is gonna be a little bit heavy. Okay. We are going to be talking about some very traumatic topics. So if you're really sensitive or if something happened to you in your childhood and this is going to trigger you and have you messed up for the rest of the day, please feel free to exit. Hey Olivia, good afternoon, sis. I'm glad to see you here. Olivia, when I send my lives out, do you get notifications? I just want to know. I've been meaning to ask y'all that. Again, if you are coming in, please hit the like button. Again, guys, really heavy topic. I'm gonna try to keep it as light as possible, but just some things can't be avoided. And y'all got my gym clothes on. I'm going to get off of here at 1:30 because I need to go to the gym. Y'all, I've been like losing weight and I just feel so weird. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel really weird. Um, okay. I'm going to go ahead and get my stuff together. Actually, I think I had more to talk about than what I thought I did. Oh, we're gonna talk about how people are losing their mind too. Oh my god, y'all. I don't know if it's just I'm on the internet too much. Is it me or do y'all agree that it seems like there is a rise in these extremely heinous crimes? Like I'm gonna show y'all before we kind of get into the topic I really want to talk about. I'm gonna show y'all how it's not even just y'all know how like we used to think um pink skinned folks, and I'm not saying that to be racist, I'm just trying not to get my video flagged. Pink skinned folks used to be the only ones who went and unalive their entire family. Now it's like us, doing it too. And I'm like, when did we start doing that? Like, when did we start unaliving the entire family? Guys, I just can't. I think people are losing their minds. I think we've just developed a culture that's so toxic. What up, Carlos? Good to see you, brother. Sometimes, but if I get on and see you're not live yet, I set it to send me a notification. It gives you an option right under your video to get notified. Okay, yes, thank you so much. Yes, that's another thing I've been needing to tell y'all. Please hit the notification bell because I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I am not an on-time person when it comes to these videos. Like, and it's weird because like if I have to do a class or if I have to do a one-on-one with somebody, I'm on time. But with these lives, I'd be like, okay, let me make sure I get myself looking together. Or, I'm gonna try to do better, y'all, for real. Um, Let me go ahead and get my headphones on. Let's go ahead and get into this topic right here. Let me share it. This really disturbed me. Okay, so guys, this was on Instagram. I found this on site. So the headline is Teen Found Guilty of Cold-Blooded Massacre. Slaughters 6 family members, including unborn nephew, after a heated argument. So it says Raymond Ronald Lee Childs III, now 19, was convicted in October 2024 for the brutal unalivings of his family, a crime that investigators say stemmed from his parents' refusal to let him stay overnight at his girlfriend's house. Y'all, we used to just go sneak out the house if it was that serious. You might kind of get mad at your parents, go in your room, slam the door, and mumble, but you was just gonna sneak out the house, sir. Why not just walk out the front door? Like, am I tripping? I remember when I was a teenager, and at this time, guys, I was in foster care. So, they make a big deal. If you're in foster care and you sneak out the house, they're calling the police, they're writing incident reports. You can get in a lot of trouble. But when my foster parents told me that I could not go out the house, I'm not going to stand here and argue with y'all. Sayonara, deuce. I used to go out the front door. Bye. Holler at y'all. I'll be back when I get back. Now, I would be in a world of trouble when I got home, but it never got that deep to where I felt like I was going to unalive anybody. Why? Because I can just walk out the door. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? So to see that it has come to this is wow, because it was so senseless. It's better to just leave, sir. Go do what you wanted to do. And your parents are gonna call the police, maybe, and the police will go. But that's why y'all don't be at that. Go somewhere else. Don't go to her house and come back. They ain't gonna take y'all to jail when y'all get back. I think it's always been going on, but now everything is recorded and posted online. I also feel like older generation like to keep a lot of things on the hush. That's true. That's true. And now we see everything. And the newer generation feels like everything. I feel like their emotions be so tied up though. I kind of feel like some of the crimes I'm seeing, it's like there's just like a lack of courage. Like again, in this situation, if you were gonna do all that, why you just didn't have the guts to go? Just walk out the door. Just leave the house. It's like they get enraged now. And I think part of it is like some of the mental illness that they're dealing with from social media and these video games that they play with. I think these kids are also dealing with a lot of social pressures that come with social media that we didn't necessarily have. So, like, it creates an emotionally volatile environment for a lot of them. Should be posted online. I feel like social media has a lot to do with it, though. Definitely. I agree. Guys, if y'all are just now coming in, please hit the like button. It helps people know that I'm online. So let's continue reading. In January 2021, when Childs was 17, his parents confronted him about violating house rules and denied his request to sleep at his girlfriend's, leading to a heated argument. Law and crime reports Childs retrieved a firearm and proceeded to unalive 6 family members in their Indianapolis home. Now, he was 17 years old. I'm pretty sure if he would have left, the police probably wouldn't even came and looked for him. Like, if he would have left the house, just went and saw his girlfriend anyway, the police would probably be telling the parents, well, you need to wait like 24 hours for a missing persons report or something like that, or to file a runaway report, if they could even file one on him since he's 17 years old. The laws might work differently in Indianapolis than in Texas. Another thing is, that's such an odd request to me, to ask your parents to go stay at your girlfriend's house. Like, even I wouldn't have never, like, we would ask to go spend the night at a friend's house or go outside or go to an event, but to go ask to spend the night at your girlfriend's house seems like a pretty wild request to me. I wonder if they had been allowing him to do that, but they told him that he couldn't that day because he hadn't been following rules. But I'm going to say another problem is these parents, because these parents allow way too much and these kids feel entitled. For example, when I was a teacher, it was not uncommon for me to have students who on the regular slept over their boyfriends and girlfriends' house at 15, 16, and 17 years old, when that was really unheard of. If you went and did something like that when I was in school, it's because your parents didn't know where you were. You might have lied and said you were going to go sleep over your friend's house. But these parents are boldly allowing their children to go sleep over their boyfriends and girlfriends' house. And they're allowing the boyfriend and girlfriend to come sleep in their house and every in the same bedroom and all of that. And the thought process is they're gonna do it anyway, so I might as well know. When it's like, no, now these kids think they're grown. So when you tell them no, it's a problem. Okay, so let me continue reading. Prosecutors argued that he systematically moved through his Indianapolis home, unaliving his parents, Raymond and Kizzy Childs, his 16-year-old brother, 18-year-old brother, Elijah. The brother didn't even do nothing. He can't determine whether or not he goes to his girlfriend's house. His 13-year-old sister, Rita, and Elijah's pregnant girlfriend, Kiara Hawkins, and her unborn child. From the probable cause affidavit, at that point, he, the father, heard two pew pews. His father got out of bed, ran to the stairs, and said, "What was that?" He then heard the sister, Rita Child, say, "Raymond pew pewed Elijah," and another pew pew went off, and he heard his dad say, "I'm sorry, Raymond, I love you." The only survivor was his then 15-year-old brother, who managed to escape despite being hit twice. The case initially resulted in a mistrial earlier in 2024 as a witness inadvertently asked Child why he had committed the unalivings, prompting the judge to halt proceedings. In his trial, Childs was found guilty of 6 counts of unaliving and faces the possibility of life imprisonment without parole. His sentencing is set for early January 2025. I mean, yeah, that deserves a life. Honestly and truly, that deserves a very long time in prison, followed by the unaliving penalty. I'm a big proponent the unaliving penalty in certain situations. I think that the case needs to be cut and dry and clear. That it needs to be without a shadow of a doubt. You did it, right? But for crimes as heinous as this, because like otherwise they're just sitting up spending our tax dollars. They get used to being in that environment. They get institutionalized. A lot of the times, the men are able to get like these people who do stuff like this, they get comfortable. Like, okay, especially if you're in a system where, like, especially if they swing both ways, that's another thing. Because one of the biggest punishments that used to come from being in prison is that men wouldn't have access to smegs. But after a while, these men start sleeping with each other. So you're getting 3 hots, you're getting a cot. You don't have to be out here working and paying bills. The government's taking care of you. And on top of that, you busting down some bussy. So after a while, I don't feel like it's as big of a punishment as people make it. That's why you'll see a lot of prisoners who have been in jail for a long time and they come out and they're so institutionalized that they commit unaliving toward themselves, or they just never readjust, or they do something to go back because they are used to it. So in situations like this, I feel like they should do some time, but at the end of the day, just go ahead, because this is a reprobate mind. You can never put an individual like this back into society. I mean, look at his eyes. It's always something crazy in the eyes. He looks soulless. And I don't feel like there's any redemption for somebody who does something like this. Again, when he could have just left the house and went and met his girlfriend and came back home and dealt with the consequences and been like, whatever, I do what I want to do. This is sad. I feel like if you're having mental issues, you should get a therapist or find someone you can speak with. But you know what, Carlos? I want to, like, I agree with you. I feel like sometimes it's too late. Like, I remember when I was a teacher, guys, if y'all are coming in, please hit the like button. Hey, Jamal, what's up? Good to see you here, brother. Afternoon Queen, walking in the rain to get lunch. Oh, that actually sounds really peaceful. Actually, you gonna be wet, but it's peaceful. I love the rain. Um, I worked with a boy when I was a teacher. Now, a lot of people were surprised when I was a teacher. I'm not one of those people who is a delusional, nurturing kind of woman. I know the seeds that I can water and nurture, and I know the weeds that need to be cut. And I know when people want to be saved and when they just can't be saved, right? So when I was a teacher, I operated as such. So there was a little boy who had this same look in his eyes as this boy that is in this picture right here. And the first day that I met him, because he enrolled later, he came in my class and didn't even introduce himself. He just walked in and he was like, uh, can you sign my attendance? And I was in the middle of a lesson. So I turned around and I was like, hi, hello. I'm Miss Brown. Who are you? He was like, man, can you just sign my effing attendance for my parole officer? I said, sir, leave my classroom right now. So I walked out in the hall and I talked to him and I was like, look, I don't know you, you don't know me. What is your name? He told me, I was like, look, you don't come in my classroom and disrespect me like that. If you need your attendance signed for your PO, I understand. I don't have no problem signing it. But you're not gonna come in my classroom and talk to me like you run nothing. You definitely not gonna cuss at me. So if you want me to sign that attendance, you'll come back in my classroom and you will politely ask me to sign that attendance and sit down somewhere. So he came back in, still had an attitude. Sign this. Okay, sir, now it's time to go. Bye. Holler at you. I'll see you tomorrow. So as he walked out the door, he turns around, pulls the door, and slams it as hard as he can. I knew then that boy was crazy. So the attendance counselor comes up maybe about 30 minutes later with him. She wasn't an attendance counselor, she was a regular counselor. And she was like, oh, he would like to talk to you and apologize. He don't want to apologize. She's trying to force him to apologize. She's trying to talk him into apologizing to me. And I'm telling her, look, no. He don't want to apologize. It's not genuine. He can't come in my classroom. Y'all, the way he acted, I don't even feel like I'm telling y'all the entire scope. As soon as he slammed that door and walked out, my kids, mind you, I don't have no punk kids who can't fight. I had some big boys that played football. They was like, Miss Brown, go on and lock that door. Go on and lock the door, right? So anyways, he didn't want to apologize. He left my room. Then it was just always certain type of problems. And then I was hearing that, like, if he lived with his granddad, if his granddad took his cell phone away, he would tear up the whole house. And it got to the point where I had to write an email like, this boy cannot come back to my class because I don't want to get unalived at school. And eventually, after that, I never saw him again. I never even saw him in the school. But he was already, ankle monitor official, already on probation. But the boy, and I've had kids who were on probation or considered juvenile delinquents, but they were cool. This was different. This was like rage. Like one day, if he's out in the free, he's going to do something as heinous as this. And like you can spot that in kids. And I don't think therapy helps that at all. You can't get through kids like that. I still don't know if I could have been saved or not. Well, it looked like you ain't did nothing to nobody, have you, Jamal? So yeah, I think that I think it's unfortunate. And I'm sad to see people, again, we used to say that this was a Caucasian people kind of crime, but this is I've seen this a few times now. So it's definitely something in the air. All right, guys, now we are going to talk about Tesehki, and Chrisean Rock. Now, for those of y'all who don't know who I'm talking about, Chrisean Rock is one of the baby mamas of Blueface, right? And she had this really toxic relationship with Blueface. She kind of helped Baddies pop and the Blueface Girls Club pop, um, because she did a lot of fighting and things like that. I know she got sat down for a little bit because she was in jail. I think she's awaiting trial or something now, but she's out in the free with her baby. And she's on this whole healing journey. Now, she has an older sister who's actually really talented, who does music, and her name is Tesehki. Now, Tesehki is about 7 years older than Chrisean Rock. Okay. And Chrisean Rock is saying, and this isn't the first time that she said it. I think it's just now catching some wind. But Chrisean Rock is saying that when she was 7 years old, Tesehki made her perform or go down on her. Right? So if she was 7 and they're 7 years apart, that she was 14 years old. Let me pull it up real quick. Give me some time. But I really just kind of want to point out the difference between when it is a female predator and when it is a male predator. People just kind of tend to downplay it. And I don't like that. I don't like it at all. Right? Because I feel like 14, you way too big and grown to be messing with a child at 7 years old. I'm sorry. And I understand people will be like, both of them were children. But no, I'm not, no. No, and I'm going to explain to y'all why in a second. Just give me a moment. Trying to find, I should have saved it. Okay, I found it. Hold on 1 second. I don't like this. Okay, so this is what. 1 second. And y'all can give y'all opinion on it in the comments, but I kind of feel like this is just weird. Okay, I'm going to share this right here. Hold on. Okay. Oh, I've done stuff I can't talk about. I was considered a good kid. My teens, not so much, but they can be good. Okay. She knew better at 14. I don't care. I don't care. Even if she was also abused as a younger child. Yes. And I'm going to get into that. So why I'm like, no, you don't really get a pass for that. You don't get a pass for that at all. They need to go to therapy. Yeah, they both need to go to therapy, but I'm still looking at the sister like I don't have a forgiving attitude towards her or an understanding attitude towards her, even if it also happened to her, right? And I'm going to explain why. I've seen plenty of female predators. It was a badge of honor as boys, but I feel more and more terrible as I've gotten older. Different boys think it's good, but it's not. I saw it too growing up. Girls who were 14, 15, 16, 17, messing with boys who were 10 and 11 and 12. And as a woman, let me tell you something. As a woman, I don't think there's any excuse for that, especially because I think it's even worse when we do it. And let me explain. We have access to SMEX. A girl who is 14 years old can easily go find a boy who is her same age and do that. This is about power and control. A girl, or you just nasty and perverted. You want to see that done to you or do something to a child. A girl who is 14 years old, when I was 14, all the dudes that was 19, 20, and 21 was on me. I would never have thought about looking at a child that was 7 years old in that way. You are annoying. Go away. So I feel like there are no excuses, even if you are hyper sexual, even if you have been exposed to those type of things. As a 14-year-old girl, you easily have access to that. If it's just about you wanting to get that feeling, girl, it's plenty of people your age that are willing to do it, and there's plenty of other grown people who should be in, they ain't got no business touching you, that's willing to do it. So you got all these other options before you go mess with the 7-year-old. Sorry. So let me read this. This was from Vibe. So it says Chrisean Rock accuses her sister of touching her at 7 years old. Rapper and reality star Chrisean Rock has publicly has publicly leveled allegations of inappropriate touching against her older sister Tesehki. Within the super trailer of Zeus Network's upcoming Baddies Midwest, the mother of one is seen holding her son, whom she shares with rapper Blueface, and then asking her big sister if she remembers forcing her to perform going down on her when Chrisean was 7, making Tesehki 12. I'm sorry, she was 12. Okay, so that's still a what, 5-year difference? No, no way. At 12, I was not like, at 12, I wanted to hang out with the older kids. Like at 12, I was looking at the boys who were 16. I was not thinking about no 7. And y'all have to think about this. I know now, like, let's say you have a 25-year-old and a 30-year-old, and that's a 5-year difference. Yes, like that's not that big of a deal when you're an adult, but the development is different. By then, both of y'all brains are development. Have fully developed. Y'all have fully developed bodies. Y'all have similar life experience. I mean, 7, like there's such a huge gap in terms of development between 7 and 12. There just is, in terms of brain development, in terms of purity, in terms of height. It's absolutely not the same thing, right? You said what? Tesehki responded in seeming disbelief. She went on to threaten to sue her over the accusation, adding, "I'm done talking, B. You're going to jail. Defamation." So here is the clip.
I remember when I was 7. You made me eat your pussy.
You said what? I'm done talking. Bitch, you're going to fucking jail. Defamation of character.
For you to try to check me over me being boring?
I mean, it's not a lie. I'm literally, it's logic.
Why you got beef with Jay?
Okay, so one thing I want to say is like that's clipped up, so we didn't see the whole conversation. If Chrisean Rock is lying, that is so effed up, right? Especially considering that she already tried to get her homegirls to jump her sister, right? But at the same time, that is so outlandish. Like, who would publicly, at the risk of embarrassing themselves, their own selves, say that they went down on their own sister, you know? But at the same time, Chrisean Rock is off her rocker, right? So we can't rule that out. But I've always said this as somebody who used to work with children who were in mental facilities. Those are the easy kids who lie, kids who have mental problems, and kids who are like just disturbed. Those are the easiest people to victimize because people already know they lie. So when things really happen, nobody believes them. Nobody believes him. Guys, please hit the like button as y'all are coming in. They do, in fact, make it seem like female predators are less worse than the males, but a predator is a predator. You know what? I think it's because of our physical anatomy. So, for example, when a male, we associate men with entrance, if you know what I'm saying. And that seems far more violent and painful than other things, right? Than things that women might do to somebody because they can't force themselves into somebody, like physically force their body into somebody. She didn't do this, y'all. She got kids. Let's me for real, y'all. Need mind your business. Okay, that's your opinion. I feel like and welcome to the show, Tiana. I feel like we don't know. And this deserve, like, if this happened, we don't know. We weren't there. I don't think that we should just dismiss Chrisean. And you saying that Tesehki has kids, that there are plenty of predators with kids. So that is not a valid argument to levy against her possibly doing this. So I don't I've seen women who were attractive be predators, women with kids women with something to lose be predators. So that is not a valid argument in my opinion, but you are entitled to feel how you feel. Rock drinks when she's pregnant. She sets your sister up, beats your father of her kid, and y'all think she's telling the truth. It's again, and I'm going to say this, she might be lying, right? But these are the easiest people to victimize. And then there's clearly a reason why she's messed up in the head like that. And we know Chrisean's mother was on that stuff. She might have been a drug baby too. So I'm not like, I think it's worth discussing. I don't think we should just completely say it's out of the question. Tesehki didn't do that. But also, this is not the first time Chrisean has said this. My problem was girls my age ain't like me, but I took solace from older girls, but then things happened and it wasn't your fault. Just because someone has kids doesn't mean they can't be a predator. What about dads that touch their daughters? Y'all, when I tell y'all, when I was in foster care, there were a couple girls that were my foster sisters who had these, like, their dads mess with them. I knew a couple girls who had babies by their father. There was one girl who snuck her dad. She was like, what, 17 at the time, but her dad had been messing with her for years. So she felt like she was in love with her father, snuck her dad through her window so that they could get it on. Thank you for standing on business. I've seen predators of all stripes, and the good-looking ones that are known and respected can be the worst ones. When I tell you, I have seen... You just never know. That doesn't have a look, right? And in my opinion, when you're a woman, it's easier for you to engage in predatory behavior because nobody's looking at you and people are willing to give it a pass and people feel like it's okay and they pat these boys on the back, right? They make the boys feel like it's some type of accomplishment that this older girl preyed on them. And I'm sorry, it's terrible, especially considering that it's not like, and again, this is not to give men a pass. I think men who prey on children, I have very like harsh views about people that prey on children. I think that it is a mental illness that cannot be cured, and they either need to be locked away forever or they need to be pew-pewed. Because as an adult, you have too many options. You can go pay for it if you can't get anybody to do it willingly. As a woman, we can always find somebody that's at the very least, if they're not willing to pay for a McDonald's meal for us, they are at the very least willing to give us that eggplant. Point blank, period. That ain't hard to come by at all, right? Men, even if you can't get a woman to give it to you willingly, I know it's way harder for y'all. Go spend the bread. Go spend the bread, get that head, then leave. Okay. So I feel like there are no excuses for engaging in that type of behavior. Um, let me find. So Tesehki had a response.
You know,
Yeah.
like nobody never. You know what I'm saying? I never personally went through something that took my level, like my childhood away. The only thing that took my childhood away was like mommy always sleep and been at friend's house, but that's it. I don't know. I told my young self, it's okay to not be okay. But I don't know. What would you tell your young self, Tifa, to be more confident? I was blessed. Not saying, but Tifa and you, Chastity, y'all went through some shit. Like, you know?
Yeah.
Like, nobody never, you know what I'm saying? I never personally went through something that took my.
So this is Chrisean saying, I guess they have another sister called Chastity. So Tesehki wrote this. She pulled this back up of Chrisean saying, I didn't really go through anything traumatic, at home that took my childhood away. So apparently this is something that happened to Sheki and their other sisters. So it says this ish hurt on a whole different level. How you trying to take me and Chad's trauma and say it's yours? So this is Tesehki's response. So Tesehki is saying, I didn't do this. This is something that happened to me. And again, it's very possible that Chrisean is lying. We see this right here where she's not, she's saying she didn't go through anything at home. But it also could just be a case where she didn't want to talk about it. So on site says Tesehki responds to Chrisean's claim, sharing an old lie where Chrisean says she's thankful for her childhood wasn't stolen by trauma. Besides their mother always leaving due to drug abuse. Tesehki accuses Chrisean of using the pain she and their sister Chastity endured as her own. So there's a couple, let me read some of these comments. Somebody says, what's crazy is I remember the trifling A baby daddy Blueface saying none of them was equipped to have custody over Chrisean Jr. because they all been touched and never got help. It pains me to say this because he should be the last one talking about parenting, but I'm afraid he was absolutely right. And this happens a lot. But you know what? It is not even a thing that just happens with people of lower socioeconomic statuses. I mean, this type of sexual deviance is so pervasive in our society. Somebody says she knows she did it. Chrisean isn't the only one that spoke up. One of the nephews been saying this for a long time, and that Tesehki was doing things to him as well. She needs to stop acting like they lying on her. And again, Tesehki, why would she admit to that? Why would she admit to that? If she did do it, why would she admit to that? Especially if it's there's so much money tied up into her reputation. It's easier for her to just say she didn't do it because now the burden is on Chrisean Rock and the other cousin to prove it. And that is something that is very difficult to prove. So, I mean, without any evidence or proof, technically speaking, Tesehki can sue Chrisean for defamation. And even if she did do it, be the one that comes out on top because you cannot prove this. This is something that you're just saying. The cousin and Chrisean could both have the same story. And it still would be very, very difficult to prove without any evidence. So I don't know. Me personally, I feel like victims need to be heard. Because of Chrisean's record, because of this video, It's hard for us to definitively say that this happened, but I don't think we should dismiss it. I think we should say we don't know because we were not there, but it's worth looking into. And if Tesehki did do this, it doesn't matter if she got touched as well as a kid. I understand that can cause hypersexuality, but you go be hypersexual with other people your age. Don't do it to children. Guys, if you are just now coming in, hit the like button. Also, guys, quick little break. I am a self-love coach who specializes in helping people radically transform their lives through one-on-one training. I've been through every type of traumatic situation you can think of, breakups, toxic relationships, being in a job I didn't want to be in. And I went from that to now living my dreams in Medellin, Colombia. And I did this by developing a plan and executing it. So if you need that type of help and transformation in your life, book a session with me at thepassportsis@gmail.com. I only do $30 an hour coaching sessions. So I'm not hitting y'all over the head. All right, guys. Again, please hit the like button as y'all are coming in. So this is just, it's very sad. It's very unfortunate. And yes, this is something that is very common and prevalent in our society. And I personally think we need to be having more conversations and training and public education on family incest early on. People need to be talking with their kids about how to interact with each other appropriately. Even brothers and sisters, all this sharing rooms and sleeping in the same beds and looking at each other naked, like, no, appropriate conversations need to be had. I think parents just assume that because kids are siblings, they know not to do stuff to each other. And that's like the worst assumption that you can make, because at the end of the day, kids are very like self-centered and they have a different perception of family than what an adult might have. So we need to be having these conversations, and we need to be having them on a preventative level and not be so squirmy about the topics and pretend it doesn't go on. A lot of people, they're delusional about their kids and they think their kids would never do something like this. This is the problem. Stop being delusional and thinking that your kid is a perfect little angel and that they would never touch another child inappropriately. Have conversations with children about boundaries. Okay, for sure, Jamal. Yeah, hit me up in the email. All right, so my last topic. Now, y'all know Beyonce. First of all, this is not me at all talking bad about Beyonce. I want to say this, like, Beyonce is talented. Like, and I know that she has a checkered past. The music industry is ugly. And I know that Jaguar Wright has leveraged some accusations against her in regards to what happened with Aaliyah. Like, I know all things considered, right? But I also do want to like give Beyonce her flowers in terms of nobody in the music industry works as hard as Beyonce. We're gonna say maybe Rihanna. Maybe Rihanna. Like, Rihanna, she's a boss. Okay. So okay, we'll put Rihanna up there. But in terms of performance and quality of show, Beyonce has consistently given the same quality since she was in Destiny's Child. And if anything, she's only ramped that up. So I understand why her fans are so hard about her. What I will say is, in terms of what's going on during this election season, I have noticed that if you are in the music industry or Hollywood or in the entertainment industry, you cannot be anything other than a liberal. You cannot vote anything other than Democrat. You cannot support anything other than Democrats publicly. And I find it very hard to believe that every single celebrity thinks the same. I just do. Which leads me to believe that there is a little bit of truth to some of the accusations that are being leveraged. So, for example, on the 3G's channel, the 3G's podcast. If you don't watch that, my boy AP is on there. Binky is on there. Binky Bianca is on there. Pac G is on there. And GMS, who also has his own show, is on there. And AP put out the theory that he thinks that a lot of these celebrities are kind of like being forced to be under contract with the government, and that they are being used to mule illicit substances around the country via their tour buses and things like that. And a lot of people have speculated that this might be the case as well, especially considering Diddy and those laced bottles of baby oil, right? So I think that they have people that they answer to. And when the Democratic Party calls and says, you have to come do this rally, they got to come do it. They got to come do it or it's over. I don't think Beyonce can tell Kamala Harris no. I don't think Beyonce could tell Barack Obama no. I just don't think that it's really their choice. So when they get the call, you have to come perform, period. Right? So there was this guy who drugged Beyonce publicly. And no lie, I was kind of side-eyeing him because I was like, sir, you really kind of seem like you were like, you could be a fan. And y'all gonna see why when I pull him up. Did I save it? If I didn't, that's fine. I can find it. Wait 1 minute. I hope they didn't take it down. I'm just still really disturbed by those accusations. I'm sorry. I'm still thinking about that. Here we go. Okay, so you have this guy, Xavier DeRusso. So the headline reads, this is from the Shade Room on Instagram. Media personality Xavier DeRusso calls Beyonce fans domestic terrorist after appearance on Fox News. Beyonce needs to be focused on trying to keep her album on the charts. So let's hear what
they've gone for this far in the election with 10 days, 9 days, 10, 11 days to go.
She's absolutely desperate. I mean, she's out here bringing every celebrity she can to try to get any kind of endorsement because she knows that she doesn't have any substance herself. She brought Beyonce out tonight, and it's like, Beyonce doesn't need to be doing that. Beyonce needs to be focused on trying to keep her album on the charts because it's already gone.
Xavier, Bryce Hall, thank you for coming.
Now, he didn't really lie. He didn't lie. He didn't lie. But I don't think that I think Beyonce caught a strike. I'm going to say that. I don't think Beyonce has a choice. I guess technically we all have a choice. But I think if Beyonce wants to stay where she's at, and then y'all got to understand, Jay-Z's already being investigated in this situation with Diddy going on. So they have to walk a very fine line. I don't think they want to ruffle any feathers. Whether or not Beyonce likes Kamala Harris or not, we'll never truly know. But I don't, if she does or she doesn't support her, I don't think that she has a choice. So, I mean, I think that was shady, messy, and petty for him to go on the news and do that. I think he should have kept the focus on Kamala Harris. And it was very much giving messy. He looks like he sits at the front rows of Beyonce's concert. So I just don't think that that was necessary, in my opinion. I mean, Dirk had Chicago Dems in his pockets. Many of these celebs are self-interested and are assets. Yes, that's true. That's very true. And I'm not gonna say that she don't have any culpability if she, like, again, if if you're choosing to participate in these type of activities to maintain a lifestyle, then you are complicit. But at the same time, they're just pawns in a game. And God know I always come on here and say, know your real enemy. We shouldn't be trying to drag down these little underlings or lapdogs of the establishment. Go for the establishment, period. So that was shady. That was messy. Again, though, he's entitled to his opinion. I don't think that people should be the beehive should be going on his page and dragging him. I never personally understood going on somebody's personal page and dragging them. Me personally, like, if you want to get on your page and talk about them, if you want to get on YouTube and talk about the situation, that's one thing. But to go out of your way to go on somebody's page that you don't like and proceed to drag them, to me, that's weird behavior. But to each his own. But okay, guys, I am done for today. I gotta go hit the gym. But thank you to everybody that showed up. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you're not already subscribed to me, and hit the notification bell. That way you know when I'm coming on. Again, if you are interested in any one-on-one coaching, hit me up in the description box at thepassportsis@gmail.com. I also plan travel, and if you're interested in getting involved in the travel industry, I can help you with that. So with that said, guys, y'all have an amazing Tuesday. I will see y'all here tomorrow at the lunch hour. Goodbye.